What is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Stand. Ended up dropping the episode a little bit later, past midnight, so technically this morning. So if you guys were able to watch that, I appreciate it. But we're still going to come in here and sneak in another draft. We were testing the SUPERFLEX theory for yesterday, and honestly want to come up here and hop in a best ball SUPERFLEX draft. Don't know necessarily which strategy we will be going with. When we did it yesterday, we actually started with our quarterbacks first and then filled out the roster. Then we decided to get our two position players and then obviously fill out the team with the roster from there. And finally, we decided to get our one wide receiver champion because we were dealing with a 3 wide receiver set, which I believe this is the roster format in this draft as well. So that strategy we actually liked a little bit more. It was going wide receiver, then our quarterback champion, and then of course filling out our roster from there. Hopefully we're still hoping for the good running backs of Isaiah Pacheco being in that third round, which of course we should have a good shot at. Possibly Kyron Williams. We will see. But it is, oh, look at that, only 2 wide receivers. Interesting. That's actually really good to know. Look where we are starting. We're actually starting the 8th spot today. Not ideal. As we look in here, 7 and 8 are pretty much right there. This is going to be tough because I feel we will have a shot at our champion. Just queuing up some guys. And we'll go ahead and see who falls here at the 7th. All right, really hard there. Had a phone call, guys, so sorry for the pausing thing. Kind of torn. The wide receiver, um, the actual quarterback I wanted there, Jane Daniels, ended up going right before us, which was a bummer. Right now, I'm going with the strategy of we are punting the quarterback position just to see who can fall to us. Right there, decided to go Brees Hall. Would have highly considered Amon-Ra St. Brown, especially with the question marks of C.D. Lamb not signing that contract right now. He for sure is a surefire pick. But with us only being two wide receivers, I feel it was worth it to get another top guy in that position, in another key position in Brees Hall. We are 12 picks away. I don't know which quarterbacks are essentially going to be there for us. Maybe Kirk Cousins. You hope he can sling it. I got some faith in him. There's also some other guys here, but we'll give a shot on Will Levis, thinking he could take the jump. There is a write-up on track to play Saturday. Love it. Zay Pacheco. There are more guys that are going to have question marks, obviously, in the quarterback position. But if we can still leave this draft with at least 3 or 4 solid guys who are going to start put up numbers, I think we will be pretty decent and okay. We'll see who falls though. Obviously, would love Jared Goff. We're 8 picks away. He's within 5. May see which one of these quarterbacks do fall. Jane Daniels really was the one I was looking forward to. I think Kirk Cousins could have a great bounce back year. Mr. Migo goes back-to-back quarterbacks in Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, and he's about to get his other guy now as maybe Jahmyr Gibbs. And he goes Jahmyr Gibbs. Pickens all in. 3 picks away. Danny Doinks. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes. One pick away here. As much as I want to spend up on my other champion right now, I feel I got to go ahead and just get my quarterback because we are a little bit farther or closer to where I'm still going to be able to get another top guy. So I'll go ahead. I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins here, thinking that he is just going to sling it this year. He will be our QB1. This is definitely a toss-up, but if you do decide to go the route of getting 2 key guys in a super flex, round 3, I highly recommend getting your first one because after that, there's a hurt Justin Herbert. There's Aaron Rodgers coming back from his most recent ayahuasca trip. Baker Mayfield there, who I would feel comfortable maybe, but more of a QB2 versus my QB1. There's still going to be some other guys later on we can maybe give a shot. Like I said, Will Levis is going to be there. There's other quarterbacks in Bryce Young. Derek Carr, I think, could possibly put up some numbers, especially if you believe in Chris Olave. Going to be queuing up Justin Fields with the fact that he could steal the job away. It's gross, but queuing up them two as well. And of course, there's some other guys we could take a shot on. Sam Darnold does hold that starting position right now. Gardner Minshew has that starting position. Jacoby Brissett has that starting position. One of our quarterbacks, we may go ahead and get Michael Penix here with the fact that we have Kirk Cousins, just to make sure that we have that position locked up. At least have one guy locked up. So Superflex, it's not really. You don't need that second quarterback, but it's advised that you have that second quarterback. Miss out on a couple guys we like there. Kyron Williams being one. Mike Evans. There goes Deshaun Watson. If Baker Mayfield is here, actually, we're going to punt it. If Drake London is here, I'm going to stack him with Kirk Cousins. Don't time out. That's frustrating. That is frustrating. Well, gonna come in here. I suppose, just to be smart, I'm gonna get Baker Mayfield. We're 14 picks away, and now we have pretty much free reign to go ahead and choose this roster. What I love about these two quarterbacks is they do have different buys. We want to get a third quarterback, obviously, to interchange in those spots. The thing is let's see if we can possibly find another one that doesn't have that same buy. Looking in here, as you can see, Bryce Young has a Week 11 bye. Daniel Jones has a Week 11 bye. Derek Carr has a Week 12, same as Kirk Cousins. So it's kind of a chance on Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. We will definitely have to play that. May have to spend a little bit on some of these guys, but that is the only bummer. I will say Jacoby Brissett and Drake May week 14, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. We miss out on some key guys, of course, because we waited on quarterback. And because we waited on quarterback, instead of having two stud quarterbacks and getting to be able to choose Isaiah Pacheco or Drake London, Nico Collins, anyone there, Malik Neighbors would probably be special. The thing that I am at least happy about is the fact that there's only two wide receivers we necessarily have to start or in that starting position rather than the three. Which means if I can still get someone to fill that spot, perhaps like a George Pickens, heck, 7 picks away, someone like Devontae Adams falls, or actually right here, I would much rather probably go someone like a Travis Kelce and then see if George Pickens could be there. That honestly would probably be my number one pick, at least I would hope. I do like Devontae Adams. He would have been in consideration there, just to have those two wide receivers in that spot. We're 5 picks away. Will Levis is an interesting pick. He could be a wild card. I mean, dude comes out for week one, or not week one, but, first game of his career and just throws 4 touchdowns. Definitely had me climbing at the waiver wire for him. We're 4 picks away. I would love Travis Kelce right here because I know that there's still some other guys that we're going to get that are going to be great to fill out those other spots. Ooh, Trey McBride. These two guys need a tight end. Oh, there goes Laporta. Just don't go. Here, go running back. Go. Ooh, that's gross. Josh Jacobs. I wouldn't go running back. Don't go Kelce. Oh, yeah, you didn't go Kelce. What a loser. No, we're going Kelce. We'll probably be the loser, but I'll take Kelce. all day on my squad. The fact that we still only need the 2 wide receivers, I'm loving it. Because like I said, guys, or like if you have been following along, Keon Coleman, you know what we're doing. Smash play or smash draft every single time. Hoping here right now George Pickens is available. Would love him for my wide receiver 2 in this build. And then knowing that probably have to spend up on Justin Fields, some of those other guys. But Drake May's up there. I mean, word on the street, isn't Joe Milton still or kind of ahead of him on the depth chart? Miles Amir White's drop solo. Right? With these names, like, come on, guys. What are you doing? We are actually 3 picks away, 2 picks away from being able to choose our next guy. George Pickens would be the pick for me here. Will Levis still available. Very intriguing, interesting guy with him being a wild card. He does have that week 5 bye, which is perfect for us. The problem is I really don't want to miss out on someone like a George Pickens. The only problem is that, of course, we are also battling as well, is the fact that Brandon Ayuk may get traded to the Steelers. There's talks, there's considerations that, of course, would just bite into his value. I mean, with Will Levis there, I mean, Tank Dell. This one's tough. Calvin Ridley, obviously, there too. George Pickens to me will be my pick. He's kind of who I've been choosing a lot. Honestly, that may change just with the Brandon Ayuk news. $14 picks away. We'll see who falls. Filling out this roster right now, have 2 quarterbacks, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Definitely, if we are spending up on one of those top running backs in the first 2 rounds, which honestly, that's probably the strategy to go. Most people who will be playing that 3 wide receiver set, I recommend choosing your wide receiver champion. And then, of course, coming back in that round 2 and then choosing your RB. Unless, of course, Brees Hall, Bijan there, choose them. You'll still have some great quality, decent wide receivers in that next round. But this year, there's so much value in round 5 to 10, essentially, of good running backs that you can shore up on your roster. You're going to interchange throughout the year. You're going to drop some of these guys. You're going to move them in your starting roster. You're going to move pieces around. You're going to trade them. Fortunately, you just saw Rondale Moore. It was confirmed season-ending injury. Which, of course, if we're... Wow, that's kind of sad. We're thinking about that. But if we are thinking in fantasy terms, this is best ball. Talk about stacks. We have Kirk Cousins. We had a shot at Drake London before he went before us. But Darnell Mooney is now a play with just... obviously, that unfortunate injury happening. We are 7 picks away from us, 6 picks away. If people sleep on Bryce Young, we'll go ahead and take him. There is one team here there's 2 teams that actually only have 1 QB. And I feel like Sackmole, who is a seasoned veteran, would more than likely take Bryce Young. It'd be smart to. He has 4 stout wide receivers, Jonathan Taylor to anchor, and he goes Christian Kirk. Very bold strategy, Cotton. Five picks away. There goes Bryce Young. Man, soft tissue injuries, those just aren't good. Even though a lot of people expect him to take a leap, take a jump. Not scheduled. Rachaad White is interesting with the fact that we have Baker Mayfield getting those PPR touches. There goes Joe Mixon. Right now we are on the clock to where we can either... Oh, Justin Fields is very tempting. We're going to go Justin Fields. We're going to take him for just a backup. We're going to shore up our other backup picks. But with us being 8 picks away, there's already another running back I like rather than Rachaad White. Interesting pick to pair him with Breece Hall. This is PPR. It's just, can he replicate that same production that he did last year? And guess what, guys? Right now, one of our picks, since this is best ball, I am shoring up this position by targeting Michael Penix Jr. for a quarterback bench role to shore up one of those positions. Obviously, we'll more than likely not be spending up on Russell Wilson to make sure we get that stack. I mean, it's just sad to say if he's there and still 7 picks, because the only reason that would make sense for us to lock up that Pittsburgh is the fact that we spent up on George Pickens and would then have that for sure stack. There goes Rachaad White. Miss out on him. There goes Russell Wilson. So at least there we go. We don't have to pick. That's the nice thing. We don't have to pick. Looking at this ADP game too, very surprised that Keon Coleman is so high up. I mean, I could be raising his ADP, probably. That's my fault. But of course, it's get the guys you want. Looking here, some other guys of like Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman sitting right there. That's who I believe is the guy who will take that jump, who has a great shot this year. There goes Terry. And right here, I'm going to go ahead playing the ADP game, even though Zamir White, really good chance he's not going to be there. Just with the fact that we've been drafting and raising Keon Coleman so dang much, we have to take him here. I'll take him as my wide receiver 3, interchange. He'll always be able to go in between there, which I love. There's some other good wide receivers as well as I like. But we are 13 picks away, and we're hoping within this 13 picks that Zamir White is still there, Raheem Mostert is still there, Jonathan Brooks possibly still there. Zamir White, of course, is our number 1 pick, essentially. Just hoping that the value there, he'll be able to fall. Man, Superflex, even though you got to spend on the quarterbacks, you really do just get some value that falls to you guys. I mean, there's no other draft where essentially you'll get a top wide receiver and a Brees Hall, or a Bijan Robinson, or get those two guys kind of back to back. There goes Lad McConkey, another good rookie wide receiver, building some strong rapport. We're 9 picks away. And we have a shot at Zamir White. It just really all depends on the people choosing before us on if they like him as well. Like I said, maybe we'll have a shot at Raheem Mostert. Going to go ahead and start queuing up some guys who we are hoping can possibly fall. Austin Eckler, gross. Three picks away. DeAndre Swift just went. Deontay Johnson goes. Danny Doinks. Zero RB. Doinks is going 0 RB this late in the draft. Round 10 is going to be his first pick. There goes Aaron Jones. We're 1 pick away. Hopefully we get our guy. And we are going to get our guy, Zamir White, who is locked into that lead role. More than likely be targeting Alexander Mattison later on. However, I am ecstatic and happy about getting Zamir White here in the 9th. Wow. The beauty too is this draft we're actually in only $3. So guys, you want to throw in $10 into your Underdog Fantasy account. You can easily run through 3 drafts. There's also another regular draft, $7. So if you just want to do 1 Superflex, 1 regular, just to get that practice in, just to get that drafting in, because let me tell you guys, drafting is fun. I love this. It's always funny. You get to some picks, you start teetering, who you may want to choose, but I love this. There's nothing better than draft day. Nothing better. Especially when you have those live drafts. They're fun. They're great. All right. We have right now queued up another running back to go. We did obviously choose Brees Hall a little bit early on and then slept on that position. Had a chance at Rachaad White. Decided to, of course, pivot. And I think we had to essentially go, or we took Justin Fields over that. I would have to check. With these Superflex drafts, guys, quarterbacks go off so quick. Look at that. Christian Amon-Ra. That's nice. I highly thought about going CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. If this was a 3 wide receiver set, I would have smashed play CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra. I mean, of course, we're hoping the contract situation gets handled. Please, can you just pay the best wide receiver? Can you do that? Because guess what? Every time you don't, the next contract is always is always more expensive than the last. So, come on, guys, be smart. That would be nice. Right now, there are 2 picks we are looking to make, or 2 choices to choose from. That will have a choice either between Raheem Mostert or Brian Robinson Jr. Right now, it will be Raheem Mostert. Brian Robinson Jr. is there. Gardner Minshew still is there, but I want someone who can give us some explosive upside in this running back position We are taking a shot here with our 3 quarterbacks already, hoping just Kirk Cousins is fully healed. Baker Mayfield will have another great game or another great season, great year, and Justin Fields with the potential to take over that offense just with the ability and dual threat that he has to offer. So we're going to go ahead. Looking at this team, we have 3 quarterbacks who can take us throughout the year if we want to leave it at that. Michael Penix Jr., like I said, is a pick just to make sure that we lock up that Atlanta offense, especially if anything happens to Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix is out there. Just slinging it definitely could provide some exciting weeks to follow. 3 running backs on our roster, 3 wide receivers, which since we are starting 2, we already have our starters with that 1 flex or interchangeable asset. All 3 of them had different buys. We are in a good set there. Looking at our running backs, all 3 of them had different buys. We are going great there. As long as Justin Fields can take over, we are going to be good week 11, week 12. Travis Kelce, obviously there being our lone tight end means we're going to go ahead and get 1 more just to be able to back up that position whenever he is on a bye. We're 9 picks away, where if somehow Gardner Minshew could fall, we would take him. Really eyeing kind of Brian Robinson Jr. right here. Should Brian Robinson Jr. Yeah, looking kind of scrolling down. Luckily, Michael Penix is not really in this ADP in any near future. Yeah, Taysom Hill is above Michael Penix. Oh, and I forgot today is Thursday, guys, which means we do get official week 1 preseason football. That is exciting. Few more weeks left. We are getting closer and closer to the start of the season. Excitement is here. Excitement all around. I will still be drafting every single day, whether it be on here on Underdog Fantasy or through the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard. We're drafting. We're trying different strategies. Yesterday was able to practice the SUPERFLEX format and now putting it into actual reality, if you will. The value with Breece Hall still being there was just too much to give up to where we decided to get our quarterback in the 3rd round, which right there was Kirk Cousins. We're hoping he can sling it, put up another great season. Just looking at the draft board right now, Brian Robinson Jr. goes. We did miss out on him. That is a bummer. Looking here, we're within 3 picks away. Briscoe only has 1 quarterback. He would be smart to take someone like Gardner Minshew who will be able to provide that value this year. Oh, looking here, though, where my pick will more than likely have to be, and the fact that Gardner Minshew did go there. Trey Benson has been a high pick for me, where if we could get Trey Benson as our running back 4, who is simply there to take over when James Conner does break down. And as you can see, Jerome Ford actually goes before. He was actually someone in consideration that we're actually hoping fell to us this next round of 8. However, Jerome Ford didn't, which means at least in this spot, we are looking for other running backs of maybe Gus Edwards. Your pick on Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowdle, who Dowdle right now is looking could lead team in rushing, question mark. I mean, he easily could take over Ezekiel Elliott. I just also know that Ezekiel Elliott will get 30 yards, 1 to 2 touchdowns a game. So it's like, who would you much rather have or value in this best ball format? That's tough. Ooh, I'm actually going to look at the tight ends here. Because there are really only a couple left that would provide some value to us. Right now, Pat Fryermuth, Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, to me, I think would be a little bit more consistent, but he does have 3 other targets to contend there. Pat Fryermuth does have, of course, George Pickens to go against. It is an Arthur Smith offense. Pat Fryermuth, 5'9". There's a lot of talk that this is going to be his year. Kind of looking Kate Otten maybe in consideration just because of us having Baker Mayfield. Once again, another stack. As I'm looking here, though, just with them being other wide receivers, we'll probably we already have 4 solid running backs. Okay, hey, look, there goes Pat Fryermuth. We don't have to make that decision. But at least right now, one of those decisions is possibly Dalton Schultz. Another timeshare. So there you do have the timeshare of Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Just scrolling down, looking at people here. It actually is our pick. Coming in, there are actually some still guys available that will provide some value. There are some question marks, some hits, some misses. We already have 4 running backs. Honestly, to me, with us already having just 4 running backs, even though there is Gus Edwards, Rico Dowdle, Ezekiel Elliott, I feel I'm going to go tight end here. Get Dalton Schultz. That backs up our tight end of Travis Kelce, to where as long as both guys can somewhat stay healthy throughout this year, Travis Kelce is getting older, Schultz is getting older, we could possibly have a shot. But right now, this is best ball, so I am just protecting this roster the best I can, making sure that these bye weeks are shored up, that as we get Alexander Madison, in here as another possible backup, our week 10 is at least shored up there, or everything but week 10 is shored up. Can possibly look at who else may be here. Look at Breece Hall's backup. Of course, we went Dalton Schultz there, knowing that a running back run was going to go, and it was the last string of running backs available. Dowdle, Corum, Edwards, Elliott, Eckler probably here. There's still some other ones you can possibly give in. Zach Charbonnet is going to be the backup to Kenneth Walker. Not as much buzz as last year. Ty Chandler, who's backup to Aaron Jones. A lot of people think he's going to take over that spot. Jalen Wright, rookie, could be, I believe he's a rookie, could be an interesting pick for us, purely with the fact that we have Raheem Mostert. Obviously, Devon Achane is still there. But should anything happen to Mostert, obviously Wright would get more reps and playing time as well. So it would just kind of benefit the team overall to kind of have him on our squad. Just looking here, good backups. Tyrone Tracy, Braylon Allen, going to queue him up with us having Breece Hall. We'll see, is he top backup on first depth chart? That's good to know going in. Obviously targeting Braylon Allen. And Alexander Madison being kind of the last short pick, with the fact of just being that backups that we would want to take and essentially have on our roster. Queued up some other guys, Jaleel McLaughlin, Javonte Williams there, but could have a sophomore breakout jump. Chuba Hubbard is going to at least have some value the first 4 weeks of the fantasy season, with Jonathan Brooks starting off on the pup. Last 2, Braylon Allen, back up to Breece Hall. Alexander Madison, back up to Zamir White. Honestly, we don't really need any of those other running backs except maybe target those last 2 which would give us 6 on this roster, which is how we normally like to leave it. There are a lot of wide receivers we actually need to start adding to our list. Darnell Mooney, like I said, was one person highly in consideration. Right here, though, I'm going to go with the exciting rookie of Jalen Polk. I think his ADP is rising. Right now, he's running with the first team wide receivers. Jacoby Brissett could possibly be a target for us later on. So then we essentially just add another stack to us. With this being 7 picks away, I wanted to take Polk, hoping that Darnell Mooney would still possibly be there. That's another wide receiver that we can add that could provide value, with Kirk Cousins being our QB1, just to be able to have that stack, have that value. He is the wide receiver 2 on that roster, however, would provide some veteran support. As you can see, we do have CeeDee Lamb, do have George Pickens, and then we anchored essentially the rest of our wide receiver depth with 2 rookies in Keon Coleman and Jalen Polk. Even though I believe both of them will have great roles on their squad, still having that veteran, heck, just in case anything happens to Drake London, you hope Kirk Cousins is going to sling it. So Darnell Mooney is, in fact, just going to get some of those touches. Kyle Pitts obviously will get some, but as we are here looking for value later on, man, the tough part about getting Darnell Mooney in this spot, and purely we are only targeting him because we have Kirk Cousins, is the fact that there's 2 other rookies that I like as well in this position. Those 2 are Xavier Legette, who is dealing with a foot injury, and Ricky Pearsall, who shoulder injury resurfaces, re-aggravated it. That's not good. All right, well, Pearsall right now, kind of off the list. Someone you could add on to be a value later with Ayuk being on the move. He is someone that would highly recommend getting on the roster. Darnell Mooney, locked in for key role. The unfortunate injury with Rondale Moore there means, that competition for those other touches just aren't, just got a little bit wider between obviously the next guy up. Gonna take Darnell Mooney here. And just looking with how we're going to want to finish this squad. We're 12 picks away. We are hoping maybe 1 or 2 people can fall. Those 2 people are Jacoby Brissett, who is the starting quarterback right now in New England. I want to see some Joe Milton in action. May has quietly shown progress. Come on, where you at, Milton? I want to see a write-up on Milton. Someone? Anyone? Please write something. Ten picks away. Honestly, the only ones kind of targeting right now, Jacoby Brissett, should he fall, with Xavier Legette going right there. Actually going to unstar Ricky Pearsall just with him re-aggravating that shoulder injury. Honestly, you know what? I'll just go queue up. Actually going to queue up Tyler Boyd too. I forgot he's kind of fallen down a little bit. Jermaine Burton, Rashad Bateman, Jalen McMillan. Hey, Jalen McMillan is interesting, just that exciting rookie. Like I said, we do have Baker Mayfield. So in best ball, it's all about stacks, just making sure that when your quarterback scores points, or obviously your wide receiver scores points, your quarterback's going to score points as well. Makes it that much more exciting along the year too with some redraft. So Yeah, no one wants to go against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey, or Patrick Mahomes and Rasheed Rice, or choose your poison there essentially with the wide receiver. Oh, what's the latest on Deontay? Seen participating in practice Thursday. That's not normal. Wow. Sir, rest. Looking at a couple of guys just went. There was the back-to-back pick there. Jill McLaughlin, Ricky Pearsall. And just kind of looking or trying to go through to see who is available. Luckily for us, our backup running backs are pretty lower on the totem pole. Hey, Kate Otten goes. Someone in consideration with us, like I said, having Baker Mayfield. I know you hear me talking about the stack way too much, but guys, it just makes sense. We're 3 picks away, hoping for Jacoby Brissett. There's 2 guys in here. Yeah, there goes Jacoby. Both those guys kind of need a third quarterback. So honestly, and there goes Taysom Hill. Wow, which means that right now my quarterback and Michael Penix Jr. is the only one left. So I'm just gonna go ahead and choose Michael Penix Jr. One, because that right there is more valuable and important to me than getting my 6th wide receiver or spending up on my backup running back right now. Yes, he's my backup quarterback, but let me tell you guys, Michael Penix that's the backup to own. Should anything happen to Kirk Cousins, they're going to give him the shot. They're going to give him the opportunity to go out there and learn and fail on the job, but get better. That's how you get better. Kind of coming down here, looking to see who I will more than likely be targeting. Alexander Madison is all the way low down there. So really the picks, how I'm somewhat choosing, are in this order of I want to get Braylon Allen to secure the RB2 behind Brees Hall. That's just me bringing value to my roster the best I can. The Big John And looking at this roster, there's essentially... Actually, let me go ahead and see how many more picks we have left. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4 more picks left, which means I definitely want to get one more running back, one more wide receiver, one more tight end. So there's 3 right there. So yeah, if we could get 4, that would be amazing. I'll probably look in here in another QB, see if there is anyone worth taking. There isn't. Actually, Joe Milton would be. I believe in Joe Milton. Believe. 10 picks away. Yeah, none of these backups at least would provide any value. Obviously, we have the backup in Justin Fields to where we would need Russell Wilson. Don't really know who the backup is behind Baker. That would be good to know. A little hard to know. Scrolling down, no one has it. Kyle Trask. Trask is the quarterback. Oh, that's so bad. Eight picks away. Still some great guys available. Rashad Bateman, who is within those 8 picks. Rashad Bateman. Jalen McMillan, who will more than likely be our pick here. Just exciting young rookie. Should anything happen to Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, Like I said, we have Baker Mayfield as a quarterback. It does make sense to have an exciting young rookie receiver tied to him as well. That's how we're building this squad, just to try and provide the best value we can on when our quarterback scores, our guys can score as well. So McMillan is my number one queued up guy here. We are still 6 picks away, and he's kind of within that 7 range. 4 picks within that 5 range. So we'll see if he is available. A lot of these guys already have 6, 7, 5 wide receivers. That 5th wide receiver, Big John, before us may possibly take him, especially if he does look ahead into other people's rosters and seeing where they may more likely draft. There goes Rashad Bateman. Tough we miss out on him because if McMillan went, we would have went Bateman. There goes Estime. We're 2 picks away, hoping McMillan falls. Don't really know who else I would want to try and take. There goes Gesicki. One more. Hold your breath. Oh, he went Roman Wilson. Oh, that's good. That was good for us. Because it means we get the guy we want. He's likely playing. Seemingly putting the 3rd round pick on track to replace Trey Palmer as number 3 receiver. We are taking it, guys. The guy fell to us who we wanted to fall. 8 picks away. Looking here who would probably be that pick. If we are playing the ADP game, Alexander Madison would be the one to choose right here. He, of course, would give us that 6th running back and then also shore up our Zamir White pick. We were playing this on making sure we took care of Breece Hall with Braylon Allen. Zamir White, obviously Alexander Madison's the backup there, so he would be provide the value in that position. The only problem or hesitation I am running into is the fact that Theo Johnson, the tight end, rookie tight end for the Giants, is also going around that same range. So I know that should it gets to me here in three picks, I am going to have to essentially choose between those two. And man, a lot of guys at least already have some running backs. Like I said, I feel if I do go Theo Johnson, who could provide some, he continues to get first team reps. We're 1 pick away from our pick 2. We're on the clock. And I know right now it's either the choice between Alexander Madison or Theo Johnson. There is no other running back that would provide us really any other value. Alexander Madison does have that name value as well that we will be having to battle against. I know because I've tried to play essentially that ADP game, and the fact that when it starts getting here about running backs, you want to look after just him in name value. A lot of people choose to pick him. So as much as I would love Theo Johnson in that spot to be able to be our 3rd tight end and possibly be something special this year in that Giants offense, I went ahead and took this surefire in making sure my position is filled in my running back slot. We already have 6 wide receivers, so right now, if there's another tight end who we think could possibly provide some value, Dawson Knox we think is going to get some touches still. Ben Sinnott, obviously, is listed as the 3rd stringer. That's very interesting. There's been 0 reports of Sinnott working with the starters. Yep, Ertz and a blocker. Wow, that really tends or tells me that Ertz, who I actually have had in a few early on drafts, I think he still had some question marks on where he was going to end up. But Zach Ertz could honestly be something that could surprise. Very similar to the tight end they had last year in that position. Blanking on his name right now. I actually rolled him a couple of weeks, but provide value, and especially with Senate, obviously you see going right there. So we could do this where if Theo Johnson does go, we may take a chance here on Zach Ertz over Dawson Knox, purely with the fact that Dalton Kincaid is there. We'll take those touches. Dawson Knox will provide some value, but we also Zach Ertz could provide a lot of value. He does have the history within that Cliff Kingsbury offense. Definitely does have the edge on the exciting young rookies. There goes Dawson Knox right there. So we'll see here who will fall to us at 7 picks away. Like I said, right now Theo Johnson does have a shot at doing it. We do have Zach Ertz queued up as our backup. Honestly, Zach Ertz will more than likely be the best person to choose, especially with Theo Johnson. I mean, it does say continue to get first team reps, but also supposedly four stringer on the depth chart. I mean, that's why you never really pay attention to depth charts this early on. It's when we start getting towards week one. That's when it matters, obviously. King Pickett's in Philly. We're getting towards the end of the draft, so we're getting a lot of some auto picks. But we're 4 picks away. I believe we have 2 selections left in this draft. Yes, we do. So I think it's purely finding who can give us the best value, and then with that last pick, there's really no one to where we may just go ahead and take a chance at either Kyle Trask just to back up Baker Mayfield. You can give a shot at Joe Milton, maybe thinking that reports of him being over Drake May on the depth chart or just in general is true. Hmm. Tyler Kraft. There goes 2 tight ends in Dulcich and Greg Dulcich and Tyler Kraft, which does leave us, like I said, with the 2 that we kind of want in Zach Ertz and Theo Johnson. I have Zach Ertz in a couple of other drafts, very little Theo Johnson. I think I want to take the shot on Theo Johnson just in case something does happen there. And yeah, could be exciting just later down the line. We're going to have one more pick here in 8 picks. And then we'll just kind of look over this team and see if in a superflex, do we feel comfortable? More than likely, and more realistically, I highly recommend getting your quarterback 1 in that first or second round. The problem for us is when you see the value of a Brees Hall still there and you just chose someone like a CeeDee Lamb, a Tyreek, or an Amon-Ra St. Brown, it kind of salivate a little bit. And it is very tempting to get those. You are taking a gamble on who falls to you in that third round, and we got lucky, honestly, with Kirk Cousins. There wasn't really anyone else that could maybe provide those massive standout games. We were really hoping for Jared Goff just with his schedule. Trevor Lawrence maybe in consideration there, but like I said, I much probably would have chose Kirk Cousins over him, which did stink because we did have to forego, say like Kyron Williams, who could have been in that spot, in that role. So, like I said, if you're able to say get CeeDee Lamb and then come around here in round 2 and get, I mean, Jaden Daniels, I think that was the thing. Jaden Daniels did go before us, who we were really hoping, because there wasn't anyone we loved other than Jared Goff. So I think that's where we kind of looked at that other position of going Brees Hall. Bijan Robinson went before Jane Daniels, where we had a shot at him. And since there were only 2 wide receivers to fill out, is the only reason we went Brees Hall instead of Amon-Ra St. Brown. So we were still able to get, I think, some key guys. Baker Mayfield, I think, will be pretty solid for us. We're actually here in the last round. I'm just going to go ahead, do a quick Google search within these 20 seconds. We'll see if I'm too fast of the Buccaneers depth chart and just to see who is behind them, because right now we do have Kyle Trask listed, and right now Kyle Trask is listed as the backup. So he will be our pick here. This is purely to shore up our quarterback position with us punting that. We have the Atlanta quarterbacks in Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix. We have that taken care of in our up to Week 12 bye. And then, of course, Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask having that Week 11. So we are taking the gamble with those guys. The good thing is we at least have those quarterbacks in those markets locked up. Justin Fields could be an interesting wild card, and honestly, just the extra edge that this team needs with us playing the position. So hoping he just takes over because he really does provide a lot of upside. And yeah, guys, we'll go ahead and look at this roster. Ended up going CeeDee Lamb. Honestly, in consideration there, thought about going Tyreek Hill. Very little stock in him, or just going my smash play in Amon-Ra St. Brown. Decided to go with CeeDee Lamb, though. He is the best wide receiver, hoping that contract situation does get settled, and it should get settled. So went CeeDee Lamb, and then, of course, instead of going that second wide receiver, in that second round, our first quarterback, Jaden Daniels went who we really wanted, which means we felt to kind of punt the position with someone like Brees Hall there. So we got Brees Hall. We have CeeDee Lamb. We came back. We were able to get Kirk Cousins. And then from there, get Baker Mayfield, good number 2. Didn't really like anyone else of Geno Smith. I mean, as you can see, it kind of went of more just the positional guys. But after our 2 quarterbacks, able to still get the value in Travis Kelce. Came back with George Pickens. Hoping Justin Fields does that breakout. Strong believer in Keon Coleman and Zamir White this year. So really you will see those guys on my team a lot. Raheem Mostert was still there. Decided to take that shot and chance on him. I still think he is going to be great. Even if he doesn't get the 20-plus touchdowns, he still will be awesome this season. Trey Benson, who's going to take over James Conner. Dalton Schultz to back up our tight end. Exciting rookie and Jalen Polk going over with those ones. And Darnell Mooney with us having Kirk Cousins. Michael Penix shores up that QB spot. Braylon Allen for Brees Hall and Jalen McMillan in case being the wide receiver 3 there, and having Baker Mayfield in case anything happens to Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. As we can see, going to go ahead click this. I believe this was, no, that's a different draft. Oh, that's a different draft. The Pomeranian, but Superflex. There we go. All right, those. So the puppy, obviously, you can see a brief of some of those other guys. But yeah, guys, I believe we came in here. We built a pretty decent, balanced team that, as long as we believe in our guys, I think we're going to be pretty good this year. Only projected to do 27, though. That's actually the lowest for a lot of our best ball drafts that we have been doing. However, Mr. Migo with 31, I mean, you just have someone like Josh Allen who, has that upside. Jahmyr Gibbs. Wide receiver is a little questionable, but, as you wait and punt on that position, you still end up with Pitts, Njoku, Knox, who's going to have some value, and yeah, not a bad squad. I mean, running backs other than Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, yeah, Tony Pollard, question marks. Great for him going Charbonnet and all that. So we obviously got beat out with a lot of teams being projected over that 3,000. Honestly, to me, it's having that super quarterback. Yeah, look at that, 32. Lamar Jackson, uh, going Lamar and still being able to get, Garrett Wilson, Isaiah Pacheco, Jared Goff, great QB2. Wild card right there is, Bryce Young if he can step up. But look at that. I mean, decent running back depth, great wide receivers that are going to be good. Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Labaconke, rookie. And then we'll see with some of these exciting young rookies. Obviously, he was the one who got Xavier Leggett, Adonai Mitchell with Josh Downs' injury happening. Tight end wise, able to stack with Mark Andrews. Super Dust, veteran of the game. You see that shield. Definitely put together a great squad, starting off with last year's MVP. So I really appreciate you guys following along with this draft. We'll hopefully be back, maybe doing another Superflex tomorrow. We'll see. But you guys take care, and we'll see you again next time.